Drone-worthy news.
Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ron. If you fly drones in the United States, whether it's for recreational purposes or under a Part 107 commercial license, you need to be aware of two major executive orders, both signed by President Donald J. Trump on June 6, 2025, earlier this week. Here's a screenshot of the executive orders from the whitehouse.gov website. The first one's called Restoring American Airspace Sovereignty. The second one is called Unleashing American Drone Dominance. Together, these two orders signal the most significant U.S. government action on drones really in several years, combining both airspace security crackdowns with bold moves to advance American drone innovation and reduce reliance, on foreign drone manufacturers, especially Chinese brands like DJI. Now, here's what these two executive orders mean for you as drone pilots and how they could impact the future of the drone industry. Regarding the first executive order, Restoring American Airspace Sovereignty. This executive order aims to counter growing threats from unauthorized and malicious drone activity, from things like espionage and smuggling to potential terrorist-type attacks. Now, the key actions of the first executive order is this: the creation of a federal drone task force, which coordinates interagency actions to detect, monitor, and counter unauthorized drones. 2, deployment of counter-drone technologies. The FAA is accelerating drone detection systems at airports, stadiums, public events, and critical infrastructure. And thirdly, stricter enforcement of no-fly zones. In other words, the Department of Justice, or DOJ, and the Department of Homeland Security will strengthen legal actions against violators. So expect more temporary flight restrictions, TFRs, and greater scrutiny near sensitive type sites. And the third point is training for local law enforcement. The local police will be better equipped to handle rogue drones. And here's what recreational and Part 107 pilots should expect: a heightened enforcement. In other words, hobbyists and commercial pilots flying near sensitive locations should expect increased monitoring. Secondly, new restrictions over events, things like flying near concerts, parades, sport venues, or public gatherings may become harder or outright prohibited, even with a LANCE authorization. And then third, more visible counter-drone action. So be aware that local law enforcement, once everything gets going, will be using detection and mitigating tools, including drone takedown methods. Now, the second executive order, called Unleashing American Drone Dominance, this takes a pro-innovative stance designed to make the U.S. a leader in advanced drone operations and domestic drone manufacturing. So bear with me, this gets a little dry, I'm sure, but here we go. So the key initiatives from the second executive order are this: accelerated beyond visual line of sight rulemaking, which means the FAA must publish a proposed rule for routine beyond visual line of sight operations within 30 days. A final beyond visual line of sight rule must be in place within 240 days. And this will unlock scalable applications for drone delivery, inspections, agriculture, and more without what's being proposed here, the more cumbersome waiver process. Now, preference for U.S. manufactured drones will also be given. The federal procurement is now required to prioritize American-made drones. Within 30 days, the Commerce Department will release a covered foreign entity list, and within 90 days, actions against specific Chinese manufacturers such as DJI may, and I'll say again, may follow. Then you have the promotion of advanced drone tech, which encourages U.S. innovation in next generation drones, electric vertical takeoff and landing, or EVTOL, aircraft, and autonomous systems. And what recreational and Part 107 pilots should expect is beyond visual line of sight opportunities. Commercial operators should be prepared for expanded beyond visual line of sight operation. Expect massive new business potential in that area. Supply chain impact. DJI drones may face future restrictions, particularly in federal and public safety use. Now, while not banned for private or commercial pilots yet, the regulatory climate is, again, still shifting. For example, U.S. drone makers like SkyTel, Teal, and others could gain a stronger foothold, while DJI price availability or software support could be impacted depending on further commerce actions. Now, what this means for DJI and other Chinese drone makers is this. DJI dominance in the U.S. market is estimated between 70 to 90% market share for specific segments. Under these new executive orders, federal agencies and public safety users will increasingly move away from DJI and other Chinese drones. Now, if DJI lands on the covered foreign entity list, future import restrictions or bans could again follow. Now, for private, recreational, and commercial operators, you can still buy and use DJI products today, but long-term availability and support, again, may become uncertain. And I'll quickly mention that DJI has made their own press release on this and has commented that publicly that their drones are secure and compliant with U.S. laws, but ongoing national security reviews will determine future policies. Okay, and here's the takeaway for U.S. drone pilots. I'm going to try to summarize this on the screen here. So for recreational pilots, the key changes are you're going to have stricter enforcement around events and infrastructure, possible future DJI restrictions, and what you should do. Again, this is recreational pilots. Fly responsibly, avoid sensitive areas, and monitor legal updates. Now for Part 107 commercial pilots, here's the key changes. Beyond visual line of sight operations are soon possible. Procurement shifts to US-made drones will be made, and tighter airspace rules. What you should do, again, prepare for beyond visual line of sight certifications, explore US-made drone options, and comply with new airspace controls. These are all things, again, just to be on the lookout for. Okay, so in conclusion, President Trump's new executive orders, these are all again new this week, restoring American airspace sovereignty and unleashing American drone dominance, are again reshaping the U.S. drone landscape. Now, security is tightening. Beyond visual line of sight rules will expand capabilities for commercial pilots. A clear push toward U.S. drone manufacturing could disrupt current market dynamics, particularly for, again, DJI. So stay informed, stay compliant, stay ready, because the next 6 to 12 months will bring, again, major shifts for all drone pilots. And again, that's where I am. Now, I hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, please leave a like, a comment below. Feel free to speak your mind down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'm going to leave the links below as well to both of these executive orders if you want to read through them for yourself. And that's it for this video. I just wanted to follow up to the video I posted earlier this week, hinting that these new executive orders were coming. And to no surprise, they did finally come out later in the week. We expected them a little earlier in the week, but again, here they are. So I just wanted to at least make you aware of these two new executive orders, again, from President Trump that came out on the 6th. Again, that's it. I hope everyone's having a nice weekend, and we'll see you all in the next video. Take care.